Shamsul Alam Pantho is here with a lot of latest news collections, which is breaking news as well.
Thank you, Mr. Kanchan, for passing me the mantle. A very good afternoon to our viewers who are watching our program. Let me begin by saying that leaders at an emergency Arab Islamic summit in Doha warned that Israel attack on Qatar had dangerous consequences for the region, urging collective action to counter Israeli attempts to impose a new reality in the Middle East. I believe that Israel's attack in Qatar is what the headlines are all about in the major tabloids around the world. In other news, we have Luxembourg intending to recognize Palestine as a state later this month in the UN General Assembly in New York. And there is a breaking news. The UN report finds Israel to be causing what it finds is a genocide into the Gaza Strip. This is the UN stating that Israel has committed genocide. And in other news, we see President Donald Trump is definitely saying that Israel shall not carry out any further attacks in Qatar, as it says it intended to take out Hamas officials. But when Donald Trump makes such a comment, how far it will be realized is the matter of question. As you know, he says one thing and he does another. And this is the president that he has created, and this is how the world is now looking upon to this matter.
So we have seen United States has opened a window or avenue in Middle East for Israel. United States opened another avenue in Europe to save Ukraine. Now United itself directly opened another avenue with Venezuela, and there are so many internal and domestic things going on there inside the United States. How do you see his so busy schedules?
It's only been about roughly about 9 months in his tenure as the 47th President of the United States. And if I were to look at regional, which means inside America, and of course international outside America, these two fronts that the US administration has to understand how they deal with these two sides. Now, if you look at the New York Declaration, it is to declare the statehood of Palestine, and of course it's in New York, it's in America. What is going to happen that is far off, but the United Nations have come out with a breaking news stating that whatever that Israel is doing in the Gaza Strip, it is now labeled as genocide. This is of course coming before the high sessions debate that we're going to see from the 23rd up until the 29th. At this moment, even in the news, we see Pakistan urging the UN to suspend Israel, calling for Arab Islamic Task Force to combat expansionist designs. This is Israel trying to expand out into other territories, and this is how the Organization of Islamic Cooperation sees it likewise. And of course, just a couple of days ago, we've seen how in the United Nations Security Council, how Israel and Pakistan had shared retaliatory comments between one another. This time around, the UNSC is headed by Pakistan, and Israel had reminded Pakistan how it had harbored of someone we know, Osama bin Laden. Now, these are all old stories and old rhetorics as we live in the 21st century. We are seeing in the last 9 months, or ever since October 7th, 2023, the aggression Israel has had towards the Gaza people, all in the notion of targeting Hamas. Of course, it's not only Hamas that is the piece of the cake for Israel, it's also Hezbollah in Lebanon, it's also the Houthis in Yemen.
Yes.
So this triangular combat warfare is what keeps the Middle East very destabilized, in my opinion.
With this question regarding the UNGA and the fate of Palestine, they are fighting for their sovereign land for more than 90 years. Do you find any potential this time is going to be settled, or it will be again hang for some veto reason?
Well, thank you for the question. I was hearing very carefully what Mr. Ahmed Alvi was saying about the Gen Z and how Nepal has taken important steps and how they are tied to the time. They understand that more time lost is, of course, not good for their country. I really hope, or at least hope, that similar would happen for our country. But coming back to the Gaza issue and what will happen, it's really a matter of how much conscience the US administration gains and how unfavorable it has become to be of support of Israel. I mean, you look at immediate neighbors of United States of America, Canada. Prime Minister Mark Carney has said that he will come out in recognition of a statehood for Palestine. Similar comments were made by UK and of course France. So even if the US administration were to listen to its immediate allies, and as we know it, US and the allies, this term was coined from the end of the World War II. So even if the US wanted to look at the allies, even the allies now are not in support of this Israeli heinousness against the Gaza and the Palestinian people. But this time around, if the UN can stop any kind of vetoing power, or if the UN comes to a declaration or a decision that a two-state solution is still viable, maybe then we can have some kind of changes in the Israeli government. But it is unlikely. You see, the clear aggressor in this case is Israel, and it's not just Palestine that is at risk. In the last 72 hours, according to Al Jazeera, we have Israel attacking almost 6 countries. Let me name them all for you. They have carried out strikes in Palestine, in Lebanon, in Syria, in Tunisia, in Qatar, and in Yemen. This is a country, or this is an occupied country who call themselves Israel, attacking almost 6 different regions across West Africa and of course Middle East. How much of a danger does it pose? How much of an economic and trade barrier it poses? Or will other countries such as China, Russia, Australia, and those who are not in Middle East, how do they see this as this issue? Because let me remind you that most of the world's crude oil is coming out of this region, Middle East, and for it to be destabilized because of Israel is a matter at hand. We know that the global flotilla, it's on its way from Tunisia to the Gaza sea side, and of course their attempt would be to block the naval blockade hosted by the IDF for ever since 2007, if I'm not wrong. Of course, these vessels are definitely carrying humanitarian aid, as well as even up to the level of members of parliament of various different countries who are on these boats. How the Israeli Defense Force is going to handle them is a matter to see, as the UNGA is coming up.